I've been playing disc golf for a little over 2 years now. For the last year, I've been struggling to throw much more than 300 feet and with very little consistency in that distance. But a couple of months ago, I decided to set myself a goal of throwing over 400 feet. Now I've thrown over 400 feet and I'm consistently throwing over 380. So here's how I did it.
Now, for anyone who's thinking of taking on a challenge like this or going on their own disc golf journey, I want you to take away two main things from this video. Number one is that it's actually possible. A few months ago, I would have been so happy to have been able to throw 350 feet, let alone 400. I just didn't think it was possible at all. I think things like, oh, I'm too short, my levers aren't long enough, I've got too many injuries, or I took up disc golf too late. All those things. You just got to believe that it's possible if you want to achieve your goal. The next thing, it's not going to be a quick fix. Now, we've all seen videos and thought, aha, yeah, that's it. And then just go out to the course next day thinking you're going to be able to add 100 feet to your backhand, but it just doesn't work that way. This is about like consistent training over a matter of weeks and months, just working on the same things, even when they're not working, so that eventually you can hit those goals. So that leads me into the main purpose of this video. I'm going to be talking about the 4 little things that I did that, when put together consistently over a few months, turned out to be big things. So let's get into it. Now, the first thing that I did that made a huge impact, unsurprisingly, not that interesting, is I made a couple of form changes. So I did this with the help of a coach. If you got the opportunity to go to a coach either in person or online, please do it. It makes a huge difference. But here's the two main things that I improved. I was working mostly on my pocket. Now, unsurprisingly, if you can get a deeper pocket, you're going to be able to generate more power. So I was really struggling, sort of coming in with a really poor pocket, and that just doesn't help you to throw much over 300 feet. The main drill that I was doing to work on this, I was just sort of doing single leg stance, and then I was really from here just trying to feel the timing of my arm and my upper body. So at the start, I was coming through way too fast with my chest and my rotation and getting into a position like this. So I would just do a lot of these, a lot of mirror work at first, where I was just standing here in this position and just going back and through, trying to get it at the right timing, and then gradually working that up into throws and kind of doing the same thing. The other thing that I worked on in my form was my brace. Another thing that most of you out there are going to know is really important for generating good amounts of speed and distance. Most of the time I was just working through Nick Crush's brace evolution drills. I think that's what they're called. But I'll put it up here so you can see anyway. Went from coming into my brace with a super bent right leg and my weight going over it to just working on, it's not perfect, but got a decent brace now. And when I started to get that down, the consistency of the speed of the disc coming out my hand was just jumping up. So that's the 2 form changes I made. Now, the second thing that I did that made a huge impact, this was my overload and underload training that I've been doing. I've already posted a video about this, so if you want to see how to do this, go watch it. I'll link it here. The basic premise of this is using heavier discs to sort of make it more difficult to throw. So this is going to help you bring about physiological changes to move the disc faster. So the disc's heavier, you're going to be forced to sort of use your lower body more, to use the ground, do all that to generate better leverage to throw the disc. So this is really about improving your technique. Then the other thing is using really lightweight discs. So this is like 120 grams. Now, what this is going to do is, because it's lighter, you're going to be able to move a lot faster. You're going to be able to throw it a lot faster. And this is going to trick your nervous system into thinking you can throw a lot faster than you can. So then when you go to a normal weight disc, you're going to be able to get much higher throw speeds. So I've been doing these in a consistent training program. I've been doing this like 3 times a week. It only takes about 15 minutes to do it. So this to me was like a real key. 15 minutes, 3 times a week. That's just created huge impacts for me. So if you're interested in doing that, go check it out. Key number 3 is conditioning. So my takeaway from this was that not all form changes that you try to do, you're going to be capable of doing right at the start. So for me, one of the big issues that I had when I first started working on these things was that I just could not keep the right wrist angles through the pocket. So as I was trying to pull the disc through, I was getting into this kind of position. And no matter how hard I tried to sort of make it look clean as I went through, my body just wasn't capable of doing it. Like I could do it in slow motion, but then when I went to do it fast, I just couldn't do it. So I had to go work out in the gym on these weaknesses. And after a couple of weeks, without even trying, suddenly I was able to hit these positions without even thinking about it. So for me, if you're struggling with these wrist positions, I'll link the video that I used for help with this. But yeah, if you're struggling to hit some positions, it may not be because you're not trying hard enough, or it may just be that your body's not capable of doing it right now, and you need to go work on these things. It's pretty simple to do and helps a lot. The other thing that I needed to condition myself to be able to do was to help with the bracing. So you get a lot of forces into your lead leg when you're trying to brace. You know, if you're coming in with a lot of body weight and force, and then you're just trying to stop it all through one leg, you need to strengthen that hip, that knee, that ankle. So for me, doing a lot of deadlifts, split squats, just sort of like leg exercise in the gym was really helpful for this as well. Now, the fourth and final key, this may come as a bit of surprise, but this was the speed of my run up. So I know a lot of people talk about the sort of smooth is, what is it? Smooth is fast, fast is far. I don't know, something like that. Yes, I agree this is true to a point, but when we're trying to increase our max distances, for me, you've got to be putting as much force into it as possible. So when I was first trying to throw for distance, I was really just focusing on the throw and the body, and I was throwing with just a smooth run up like that, and then trying to put all the force into the disc at the end. Now I can see where smooth run ups can be good for consistency and timing and things like that. But when we really want to be getting max distance in, you got to be getting the force from everywhere you can. So I changed my run ups into starting a lot further away and then just trying to get a lot more speed and a lot more bounce in. So looking kind of like this. Okay, so when I started doing this, at first the results were not good. It's very hard to get the timing right. It's hard to get it consistent. So the first few sessions when I was doing this, I was sort of doing normal run up to start off with, and then I was doing a few with the faster run ups, and I was getting like a slight drop off in speed when I did it. But as I stuck with it and the timing started to get better, now anytime I'm going for a max distance shot, I'm doing it with a much more aggressive run up, and that's just kind of my go-to for these shots now. So give it a try. Maybe for you, it may not be, but I'd say stick with it for a little bit and find out. But I mean, you can certainly see from looking at the throws, the more athletic run-ups are gonna look like they're gonna produce more speed. I mean, when you look at other throwing sports, you know, like javelin or something like that, nobody's doing a slow walk up to throw an Olympic record javelin. So give it a go, see how that works for you. Now, that's the end of the video, and that's the end of my road to 400 foot journey. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch it. You'll see all these things in a lot more detail, so that might be helpful. Anyway, I hope these things are helpful for you guys out there. And if they are, if you enjoyed the video, if you've enjoyed the journey, then please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. My subscriber count is really low compared to the views I'm getting at the moment. So if you liked it, please subscribe, and that would be great. And follow along for more journeys coming up. I'm working on some new goals now, and those videos should be coming out soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.